Wow. What a day for us Packers fans. Day one of NFL free agency started today. And I was expecting to maybe see the Packers have some interest in some guys, maybe sign a lower end free agent and make a video about that. But man, there is a lot to talk about today. A ton happened with the Green Bay Packers. I was streaming during most of it, so I appreciate everyone coming out to that live stream, live reacting to all the stuff that happened. But now I wanted to make a video just going over everything that happened day one of free agency for the Green Bay Packers, reacting to it and breaking it down. Of course, as news comes out, you'll find it here on this channel. Everything Green Bay Packers. So if you haven't already, definitely go down and click subscribe. You won't regret it. All right, so we started this day off with the Packers releasing David Bakhtiari, and I made a whole video about that. So if you want to see more in depth on that, go and click the link right above. But that cleared $20.5 million in cap space. Now, I don't think there's going to be an injury grievance. David Bakhtiari is going to move on. Hopefully he can land somewhere else and play football again. I'm hoping that can happen. But it was a must move for the Packers to clear up that massive $40 million cap hit Bakhtiari was set to have in 2024. Some other little pieces of news. Tyler Davis was re-signed this morning. This is definitely the smallest piece of news that is going to be forgotten because of everything else that happened. But he's a very solid special teamer and a guy the Packers like, and a rotational tight end guy, even though I don't see him as a tight end, and the Packers shouldn't either. They should have their 3 or 4 guys, and then Tyler Davis primarily a special teamer. But that's a small thing that happened this morning. Obviously, David Bakhtiari is huge, and if it was just that today, that's still a massive day, right? But man, we haven't even got started into what happened today for the Green Bay Packers day one of free agency. Let's dive into it. So after the Bakhtiari news dropped, this day opened up with a complete surprise. The Packers signing former Raiders running back Josh Jacobs. And right after that happened, I kept seeing tweets and people saying, this is going to be the greatest running back duo in the NFL. And I said, you guys need to pump the brakes for a second. Because at that point, it wasn't reported that Aaron Jones had agreed to a reworked contract. And he had a $17 million cap hit set for 2024, and that wasn't going to remain. I think a lot of people forgot about that and just thought, oh, well, it's Aaron Jones. He's going to take a pay cut, right? Like he has before. And the Packers are going to have a two-headed monster of Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs. And I kept saying, I was on live stream, pump the brakes. We're not certain Aaron Jones is going to be back. And sadly, that was the case. The Packers then released Aaron Jones. Now, there's a lot to go over with all this. First off, Josh Jacobs, how much money they paid him, how he fits into this scheme and this offense, which, outside of a down year in 2023, man, Josh Jacobs was one of the best running backs in the NFL. He's still 26 years old, a 3-time 1,000-yard rusher, right? He's a workhorse type of back. The Packers are going to be players in the draft for another running back for sure. I hope Jalen Wright. I think he could kind of replicate what we're going to lose from Aaron Jones. Obviously, that's a lot. It's not only a lot for the player and the type of player he was for this offense. I mean, he carried this offense through the playoffs, right? Him and Jordan Love. But also the locker room guy. So many people looked up to Aaron Jones as a leader. Will that be replaced by someone? Will Josh Jacobs step up and be a leader? Because at this point, he's basically a veteran, 26 years old. I think the oldest player on the offense is Elton Jenkins at 27 or 28. So this team just continues to get younger. Cutting Aaron Jones and David Bakhtiari today, I think Preston Smith is now the oldest player on the team at, I think, 31 years old. But yeah, them cutting Aaron Jones, it makes sense. So here's what I think exactly what happened. They went to Aaron Jones with another opportunity of a pay cut, as they did in prior years, because he was set to have that $17 million cap hit in 2024. That much wasn't going to fly. Now, Drew Rosenhaus is Aaron Jones' agent, and trying to get that guy to take a pay cut is very unlikely. The fact that it happened multiple times before is wild. So likely what happened was they offered Aaron Jones too much of a pay cut, and Rosenhaus said, hey, go test the free agent market. You could get signed for a lot more than what they're offering you. And Aaron Jones does deserve his money, so I'm not mad at that. So then the Packers signed Josh Jacobs thinking, hey, well, Aaron Jones isn't going to accept this, also giving them more leverage and saying, hey, accept the pay cut or walk, because we have another running back now in Josh Jacobs, very capable starter running back, right? We'd love to have you and have this two-headed backfield, but, walk if you don't want to take this pay cut. And he walked. Now the Packers cut Aaron Jones. Now this doesn't mean he's 100% gone from Green Bay. Years ago, they did the same thing with A.J. Hawk. They weren't happy with his current deal. They released him. I think he tested the market a little bit, then came back at a lower deal for the Packers. Now, do I think that's going to happen after I saw the numbers for Jacobs? I doubt it, because I'll go into that in a second. I don't see it happening. There's still a chance. I put it at about a 15% chance, but it's likely Aaron Jones will move on. And man, it sucks so bad. Aaron Jones, the definition of a Green Bay Packer. And I know I said that this morning on Bakh, but it is even more so for Aaron Jones. And for a day that had so much good, which we still haven't completed yet, man, there was definitely some bad. It was a roller coaster of emotions today, that's for sure. So the Packers signed Josh Jacobs to a 4-year, $48 million deal. And your initial reaction would maybe say, overpay, right? But here's the thing. Let me bring up this tweet and show you why I don't think it's an overpay. March of 2021, Aaron Jones signs a 4-year, $48 million contract, including $13 million guaranteed. At the time, he was 26 years old. March of 2024, today, the Packers signed Josh Jacobs to a 4-year, $48 million contract with $12.5 million guaranteed. DeAndre Swift made more money guaranteed today, this morning, signing with the Bears at an $8 million average. So if you look at it based on guaranteed, this is going to be a backloaded contract. His cap hit in 2028 is going to be like $25 million. He's not going to last that long. This is going to be more so of a 2-year deal with an out at year 3. Say very similar to the Aaron Jones deal as the time he signed it in 2021. $12.5 million guaranteed is not a lot, and it will allow the Packers to get out after a couple of years when Josh Jacobs is 28 years old rather than this 4-year deal when he'll be 30 years old. So don't look at it as overall, oh, it's $12 million a year no matter what. We're stuck to that. We're not. It's going to be a low cap hit in 2024, probably $6, $7, $8 million. And then, of course, we also have to carry on Aaron Jones' dead cap hit, which will likely equate to about $12 million total. Aaron Jones' dead cap and Josh Jacobs' new cap number for 2024. My guess it's going to be totally around $12 million. Now, that's $5 million less than the $17 million Aaron Jones was set to make or have a cap hit as in 2024. That's my guess on what the Packers asked Aaron Jones to take a pay cut as. $5 million to lower it down to $12 million, which is what I think it's going to be right now with Josh Jacobs here and Aaron Jones gone. Before we dive into the next bit of news, I want to give a shout out to Mando for sponsoring today's video. And right now on Mando at shopmando.com, using code BASS, you can get $5 off your first starter pack. And guys, this has been my favorite deodorant I have ever used. That is an honest opinion. I've gone through so many different brands, so many different companies, and I really, really enjoy Mando's deodorant here. This one's the Mount Fuji one. I've really enjoyed it. It feels like it actually lasts all day. You know, when you go and get a deodorant, it has these claims of lasting all day, and it never does. At least with me, that was the case. That hasn't been the case with Mando, and it's definitely been my favorite deodorant yet. It was created by a doctor, and it's clinically proven to control and block odor for up to 72 hours. It's baking soda free, paraben free, and pH balanced. So guys, like I said, they're offering a very special offer on my channel. Down in the description, go to shopmando.com and use code BASS, and that will get you $5 off your first starter pack. This has the BASS stamp of approval, guys. Definitely go check it out and get you guys a starter pack. Again, thank you to Mando for sponsoring this video. So after the Packers signed Josh Jacobs and let Aaron Jones go, a couple of other free agents that the Packers had this offseason signed elsewhere. First of which was Jon Runyan, agreeing to a 3-year, $30 million deal with the New York Giants, $17 million guaranteed at signing. Holy overpay. We were talking about Jon Runyan in one of my previous videos saying $5 to $7 million is too much and we'd pay $4 to $5 and I'd be happy with that. And the fact that Drew Rosenhaus, he just signed as his agent, he's going to get a lot of money as a starting guard on the open market. Man, I did not expect $10 million annually, $17 million guaranteed. I am very much glad that the Green Bay Packers didn't come anywhere close to matching this deal, because I am more so happy that Sean Ryan, drafting a guard in this draft, they're going to be at competition for that right guard spot. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to be, younger and probably better production at that rate. So I'm happy for John Runyon to go get his money, but man, I am glad the Packers did not pay $10 million annually. And before the next big signing by the Green Bay Packers at the same position, it was reported that the Jaguars have signed Darnell Savage to a 3-year deal. I don't believe the numbers are out yet. I would guess it's around $5, $6, $7 million annually. But then it was seen, okay, so Darnell Savage definitely isn't coming back. Hey, the Packers need to go out and get their safety, and boy, oh boy, they did. The Packers made probably one of the biggest splash signings in day one of free agency after signing Josh Jacobs, after cutting Bakhtiari, Aaron Jones, and they signed Xavier McKinney to a 4-year deal worth $68 million. If you guys saw my video last week, it goes over every reason why the Packers should, on the start of free agency, go out and sign Xavier McKinney. And I really hoped it was going to happen. But being a Packers fan, you kind of hope these things are going to happen, but you're usually upset when they don't. You're like, oh man, like some other team paid him and we're going to watch him be a great safety for the next 4 seasons on that other team. But no, that was different today. The Packers went out and signed a massive free agent at a huge position of need, probably the biggest position of need for the Green Bay Packers at safety. They only had Anthony Johnson Jr., Benny Sapp, and Zane Anderson at safety. They needed their cover one deep safety, their post safety, as Jeff Hafley said, and Xavier McKinney is that. He's one of the best up-and-coming safeties in the NFL, was top 5 safety in the NFL last year, still only 24 years old. So a 4-year deal here. He'll still be 28 at the end of that deal. And man, he really was one of the best safeties last year. 4th in overall PFF grade, 1st in coverage grade, and 1st in tackling. He was one of the most secure tackling safeties with only 7 missed tackles last year. And we know how tackling as a defensive back for the Green Bay Packers has been a problem. The Packers went out and signed 2 Alabama alumni here today, Josh Jacobs, Xavier McKinney. Of course, McKinney coming back to work under his former Alabama defensive back coach Derek Ansley, who is now the passing game coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. Man, I am so excited at this signing. This is absolutely massive. Like, they have to rebuild this safety room, and he was my #1 option in free agency. Now, if the Packers go out and kill the draft, maybe sign another free agent safety like Jordan Fuller or Gilman, and go out and draft someone like a real box guy like Jaden Hicks or Cole Bishop. Man, this defense is going to be dangerous. I think, and this is definitely a biased opinion, you know, being a Packers fan, this is my favorite signing of the day in the entire NFL. So as it states, McKinney, 4-year deal, $68 million. I believe that's $17 million annually. Puts him right above Jesse Bates, right below Minka Fitzpatrick and Derwin James in terms of average annual money. But again, this won't be a $17 million cap hit in 2024. It'll be slightly backloaded as the salary cap goes up every year. That's how all contracts are going to be in the future of the NFL. But I'm fine with that value. He's a 24-year-old safety coming off a rookie deal, coming off his best season in the NFL. That's the same age as Anthony Johnson Jr., our 7th round rookie from last year, 24 years old. This guy is going to transcend and one of the better safeties in this Jeff Hafley defense, and I am all here for it. So I'm completely happy with that number, because in a couple years, the market's going to go up for safety, the salary cap's going to go up, and we're going to have a 25, 26-year-old safety who's likely going to be all pro, in my opinion, at a very respectable number. That continues to happen every time. A team will sign a free agent to so-and-so money, and a lot of people will be like, oh, that's an overpayment. And then in 2 years, the same people will look at that and go, oh, wow, that's great value. It's because it's the way the salary cap works. And even if it was slightly more, slightly less, I'm still ecstatic about the Xavier McKinney signing. So guys, all the official contracts, like in terms of the layout for Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney, have yet to come out. So I can't really update you on the salary cap. Just know they cleared a lot of money yesterday and today with Devondre Campbell, David Bakhtiari, and Aaron Jones. They're going to designate Devondre Campbell as a post-June 1st cut. They could do so with Aaron Jones. They can do 2 players a year. That money would then come available Wednesday. Bakhtiari, since he was the last year of his deal, regardless, cleared $20.5 million. So at the end of the day, the Packers had roughly $40 to $50 million to play with before they signed Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney. So depending how those deals go, I think Jacobs' cap hit is going to be somewhere around $7-8 million. McKinney's maybe around 14. So you're looking at $20 to $21 million there. Let's just say the Packers had $45 million. Drop that down another $21 million. That's at $24 million left. That's a rough average. That's about where I see the Packers right now. So they still have more money to do certain things. Of course, they're going to extend Jordan Love. But as the official contracts and the layout come out, later this week, there will be an update video on this channel going over exactly what those contracts are and exactly how much money the Packers have left, and if more free agent signings happen, which very well could happen right after I make this video. I mean, it's been a wild day in Green Bay. But I do appreciate you guys coming by to the video. This has been a roller coaster of a day. I mean, up and down with the cuts and the signings. Man, it's been crazy. Again, I appreciate everyone coming by to the channel. Go down, click subscribe. All the people over at the live stream, it was a blast. I appreciate everyone coming out to that as well. But I'll catch you on the next one. And as always, go Pack Go.